Welcome, everyone, to our introductory podcast episode thing, whatever the fuck this is going to be. Episode 0 of, wait, what was I doing? A Squirrel, an Ape, and a Trash Panda podcast. The title of this episode is A Squirrel, an Ape, and a Trash Panda walk into a podcast, period. That's the name of it, but shenanigans ensue. So if you want to know why Patrick is so obsessed with dolphins, make sure you stick around. If you've ever been curious about Spaz, and if he's had hair, and if so, what color was it? We've got the answer. And if you're wondering why Lee is so obsessed with the fact that she now has stretchy skin, we answer that question as well. So sit down, buckle up, it's sure to be a shit show, but we're gonna have a good time doing it.
It definitely is gonna be a shit show.
A squirrel, ape, and a trash panda walk into a dumpster fire.
Exactly.
On episode 0, here we go.
So I guess I'm going to get introduction started because these two were just too chicken shit to do it. So of course, bring the woman in to show them how it's done, right?
We'll go with that. Okay, sure.
Yeah,
Whatever.
just let me have that one.
Yeah,
Okay, fine.
you can have that point.
Oh,
Age
you're
before-
so sweet.
Hey,
I'm number one?
age before beauty.
I'm
They
pretty
did say you were in your 40s in that most recent video.
Okay, like 3 fucking people said I was in my 40s. Most people said I was in my 20s. I'm uncomfortable with the energy we're creating in the studio today.
I'm going to show myself out.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure the reason y'all have me here is because I bring a little bit of class and prettiness to it. Well, then again, you do have some pretty fucking luscious hair, Patrick.
I do have some pretty hair.
Spaz, on the other hand,
Has none.
he brings glasses.
I do.
You do.
I do.
And that squirrel dad attitude that we all love.
Just wait.
Oh boy. So I guess I'm getting introduction started. My name is Lee, for those of you that don't know. Yes, that is actually how Ley is pronounced. My first name is Ashley, and I can't stand being called Ash. Pokemon was my age demographic when it first came out. So when too many Ash Ketchum jokes were made at my expense, and I couldn't stand it anymore. So I go by Lee. At least on TikTok I do. Trying to get people to call me in real life has been much harder. The Ash Ketchum jokes still follow me around 25 fucking years later. Anyway, I was diagnosed with ADHD at the age of 32, which was 2 years ago for those of you playing along at home. I'm probably one of the rarer diagnoses of ADHD in that I had absolutely no clue that I had ADHD. I had done absolutely no research into the area until one day my therapist just looked at me and very plainly goes, I think you have ADHD and you need to go be evaluated for it. And I was like, excuse me? So come again? I went and got the evaluation. Turns out I'm ADHD as fuck. I'm also one of those people who got their ADHD diagnoses by using the computerized test, which is not available everywhere. So that also kind of sets me apart at the moment, I guess. So if you have questions about that, feel free to ask. I'll let you know exactly how boring that fucking test was.
See, I just want to know if on your actual diagnostic sheet it says ADHD as
ADHD as fuck.
I mean, it should. It should. So the way the test was explained to me is it's on a scale, and that scale goes from positive 10 to negative 10, where positive numbers are the ADHD side of things and the negative numbers are the neurotypical side of things. And the closer to 10 you get, the more fucking ADHD you are. And I ended up scoring an 8 out of 10. So I classify myself as ADHD as fuck because now that I've done all the research, I'm like, oh, things make so much more sense. Oh.
Well, according to the DSM-5, it's primarily as fuck presentation. So
that is me. It fits me though because my pronoun is that bitch.
That's true.
So I am that bitch with primarily as fuck presentation for ADHD.
There you go.
The acronyms are a mouthful, I bet.
I just call it my alphabet soup. That's all I call it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, right.
In addition to ADHD, I also have PTSD, OCD, generalized anxiety disorder, and I am bipolar disorder type 2. So, something going on up there. Like, you know, the 2-for-1 special that nobody actually wants, but my mom decided to go like grocery shopping at that store. Pretty much describes my mental health.
So I'm going to go ahead and just say it because it's the elephant in the room. I mean, you got to catch them all, right?
Yeah, your mom went shopping at the buy one, get 7 free store.
My mom was apparently dreaming of being a Pokemon master.
There you go.
Depression Mon, I choose you. Fuck my life.
Bipolasaur, I choose you.
Bipolasaur. I need somebody to draw that for me, please. For real, if somebody draws a really good Bipolasaur, I will fucking get that shit tattooed on me.
Put that shit on.
That is the most epic fucking thing ever. Yes, no, 100%.
We've got some creative people who follow us, so
we do. We have some really creative people that follow us. But yeah, that's my mental health thing. I joined the military out of high school. So I am also a veteran. I did 7 years, ended up having a training accident, and I split my Achilles tendon, and I was medically discharged from the military because of that. 0 out of 10 stars. I don't recommend fucking with your Achilles tendon. It's not fun. After that, I went to school and got a degree as an LPN, and then went back to school for RN. My injury did prevent me from being able to actually do the things that I wanted to do because I wanted to work in emergency medicine. So I decided to find a different route that I could be involved with, like the nitty gritty, getting your hands fucking dirty kind of nursing. Not that there's anything wrong with working behind a desk or, you know, in a doctor's office. It's perfectly fine. It's just not for me. So I went to public health. And when I was going through public health, I decided that epidemiology and biostatistics with a focus in infectious disease. I knew the words I was trying to say. Welcome to the server.
That's right.
Yeah. So my concentration in public health is in epidemiology and biostatistics. And when I go back to school here in a few years, taking a little bit of a break now. When I go back to school, I'm going to be focusing on infectious disease. And I hope to get into Columbia to do that program.
So if anybody out there is that's listening is somebody important to Columbia, her name is Ashley. You can find her here. She wants in.
I'm also in charge. I'm in charge of the podcast email, which is the What Was I Doing podcast at gmail.com. You can find me there. You can reach out to me there. It's fine.
This portion of the episode has been brought to you by shamelessplugs.com. Apparently that's
have all your shameless plug needs.
If anybody is wondering, one of the reasons that Lee is here is because she brings the intelligence and the schooling to this group, because that's not me and Spaz's specialty.
No.
Not at all.
Although that does need to come with the caveat that at no time should anybody take anything I'm saying as me speaking as a professional. I am not currently a licensed nurse. My license ran out last year. I never renewed it. I haven't done my continuing education for nursing, so I'm not going to renew it anytime soon. And even though I have a degree in public health, I am not done with my schooling. I do not know all there is to know. And what I talk about comes from my own personal experience. So that's not just here on this podcast. This is on my YouTube channel. This is also on my TikTok. And I believe that Spaz and Patrick will both agree that all of us only speak to our experiences, that nothing that we're saying should ever be used to make a diagnosis.
No, absolutely not. I was going to say, too, that sounds like you were making a blanket statement for a lot of us, and I approve of your message.
I really was, though.
We will gladly point you to resources and professionals, but do not take anything we say as a professional opinion.
That's right. I am not a doctor. I am not a professional. I'm a dumbass with a platform, a podcast, 2 partners, and a YouTube channel. That's about as fucking far as that goes.
You have a TikTok, too.
Oh, yeah, I guess I do.
You said a platform.
Well, that's what I said. Anyways.
Okay.
Brain went...
Brain go burr. Right? Except not in a good way.
Brain went...
I wish I could do that where I could just raise one eyebrow really fucking high like you do. Yeah, like that. You know, I guess it's easier to do when you don't have a hairline that you could end up running into.
Right.
Mine hide behind my bangs.
But there's that, wise ass. I did start training myself. I did, because this is a trained behavior. I taught myself how to do that when I was junior high, I think is when I started. And I mean, my hairline was at least here. At least.
Did you have the widow's peaks with it, though? Did we already hit that point? You did. Okay.
At that point, not quite. It wasn't long after that.
I don't know.
Okay.
I guess the strangest thing I can wiggle my ears.
So can I.
That's the strangest thing I can do.
You can't see it right now.
No, because I got the headphones on. But yeah, no, I can wiggle my ears. I can also twist my wrist 360 degrees, but that's because I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and it requires me to pop my shoulder out of socket. To do.
Exorcist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically The Exorcist, only my wrist instead of my neck. I do like living.
God.
So another thing about me that most people don't know upon first seeing is that I have an invisible disability, though. You know, we're going to do a whole episode talking about seen versus unseen disabilities, whether it be mental or physical. So in addition to my wonderful mental health profile, which I am 100% not here for, but stuck with anyway, I also have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And this is a connective tissue disorder where essentially the connective tissues don't fucking work properly. Go figure. So where most people have things that are held together by these connective tissues, my muscles are what's doing the work. My muscles are what are holding my body together. This can cause me to do things like pop joints out of place, as I did yesterday, actually, filming a stupid TikTok, and I dislocated my shoulder in the process. I dislocate my hip simply by riding in a car. But apparently I look young because there's also a collagen mutation that goes along with the type of EDS that I have. So I have very soft skin, and my skin is very stretchy, a very stretchy skin.
Didn't I see you on the first X-Men movie?
You got jokes.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are dad jokes.
A lot of them are dad jokes.
Or
Wonder why you're
completely
called.
inappropriate.
Yeah, 18 plus is still that way. I know we're all adults, but we do have young listeners.
It's true.
So, one last question for you.
Go
Why
ahead.
TikTok?
Why TikTok? I think it's the same answer for just about everybody here, is it not? We were in the middle of a global panorama, and I downloaded it.
You can say the word.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an epidemiologist.
we're not
I know I can
censored
say
here.
the word.
You're not going to get a community guidelines violation for saying the
Look.
word pandemic.
Look, it's more
Fuck you,
fun to call it a
TikTok.
global pepperoni.
Yes. Okay, that's not a lie.
So yeah, anyway, we were in the middle of a global panorama, a global paradigm, a global parallelogram, if you will. And I downloaded it as a joke, not really even as a joke. It was, if we're being quite honest, it was just to pass the time. My kids were driving me batshit crazy, and I needed 5 minutes, so I would lock myself in the bathroom and scroll on TikTok. Decided one day to post a video.
The Confessions of a House Mother.
It's so true, though. It's so true. So true. Every time I see one of Katiosaurus where she holds the fruit snacks and then she throws them, it sends me right back to like the early days of the pandemic, because I would do that shit to my kids because they're still really young, so they don't have any boundaries. Mommy's in the bathroom, you can't be in here. Or like if I needed to like divert them from something, it would be like, here, have a snack. And then I would throw it to wherever I wanted them to go. And sure enough, they'd go fucking grab it like a golden retriever, sit down and eat it. So yeah, I downloaded it as a way to stay sane. And I ended up posting a couple of random lip sync videos, but the videos that I actually got noticed for, I talked about my medications and my mental health. And people started asking me questions about that, especially when it came down to like me being on Adderall. So I was answering questions and explaining why I wasn't recommending any of my medications. You will never get a medication recommendation from me, ever. There's just too much that can go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But this kind of started snowballing into people asking me questions about ADHD. And then I started answering questions about ADHD and doing more research on ADHD. And I met Spaz and Eric and a bunch of other ADHD content creators, and just kind of ended up, TikTok said, okay, the only shit we're going to push now is your ADHD stuff because we have found your niche. And I was like, okay. And they did. And here I am fucking 1 year and shit 2 months later making a fucking podcast.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's why TikTok.
I have a feeling that's one of the questions in the hat. So.
I have a feeling that's one of the questions in the hat too.
But first, a word from our sponsor, ADHD Incorporated. I have a question for you. Have you ever not been able to do the thing? You know, like you want to do the thing, but you can't do the thing? Hi there. I'm Willie Everduett from ADH&D Incorporated, and I'm here to tell you all about executive dysfunction. Now available in 3 amazing flavors. There's the regular I can't do the thing, extra spicy you can't make me do the thing, and